Hey everybody, it's Roddy and Mike. We're back in business. Welcome to One Stroke at a Time. This is the first one in just a little bit of stretch of time. Like to say hello, Roddy.
What's up?
So anyway, today was a beautiful day, and I messaged Roddy earlier. We decided to get together, have some beers and some conversation, and I believe some pizza. And kind of go over some stuff that Roddy's been thinking about, going through, and deals with on a regular basis. As always, or most ways, we have beer. Right now, we're consuming an Alaskan Brewing Company beer. It's an amber. And I'm going to tell you, it's actually, I shouldn't say actually. Everything I've had from the Alaska Brewing Company has been good, and this is a really good beer.
Yeah, really good.
I got another one coming up that we might get to during the show that I'll mention as well, but cheers to seeing you, Roddy. It's been a little bit since we've been on a podcast. We've gotten together several times, but really felt more like just hanging out and visiting rather than going over stuff, which is we just play it by ear.
Play it by ear,
or
right.
As my mom would say, play it by rear, because I didn't really know what I was doing. Anyway, listen, you're doing all right. Everything's going pretty good. You're staying busy.
I'm busy. I'm busy.
All the time.
Well, it's like it's springtime, so it's like outside doing my pampas grass and trimming and this and that and the other.
Would you be considered a pompous ass if you grew too much pampas grass?
No.
You know, like I slid that in there. Okay.
I'm pampas grass all over.
Okay. But you got some new tools. You got yourself set up with the new trimmer.
Yeah.
So that's pretty solid. And you like working outside.
Yeah.
And you were thinking you're going to redo your lawn this summer.
Yeah.
What kind of grass you said you were going to go with?
Just a minute. Zoysia. Yeah.
And then I told Roddy, so, my wife and I really love birds. Roddy loves birds. So I gave him the suggestion to switch over to safflower seeds because squirrels hate them. And the squirrels were eating everything we ever had. So we went to that, and it works. And Roddy switched to it. But then I found out over the last 4 years that safflower seeds, birds love them, fly all over the place, and then you have it growing all over your yard. So he's going to have to find some other things to feed his birds, or he's going to ruin his brand new yard. So we'll see how it works out. We'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. All right. So, hey, before we have a couple things we wanted to go over, but I want you to say, what was the poster image that you put on Facebook? I think it was yesterday, maybe today.
Today, yeah.
What was that about? What'd you post?
Well, good. My communication is not good, and they are called aphasia.
Yeah.
And there's different types of aphasia, but I'm very frustrated because I couldn't talk. Right. So I'm like frustrated all the time because my aphasia, I cannot remember a word or a phrase.
Right.
And I'm like, that one word, blah, 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 and it's like, Yeah. So today, I was like, I have a group, a face group talk. They called Aphasia Center or something like that.
Okay, it's a Facebook group.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I was like a little meme. I'm like, that would be excellent to do my Facebook and talk about it.
To educate people, because that's one of the things we've talked about, and maybe even going beyond this podcast, maybe somehow venturing into making a documentary of some sort, just because you want people to become educated, to understand what people that have aphasia are going through. Yeah. And I think that's a really great purpose, something we definitely are going to try to look into and move forward on. And I saved your image and put it on mine, just because I think, we share a lot of friends on Facebook, but then we also have a lot of people that we know differently. And I think the more that we get this out there, the better it will be. And
Yeah.
We talk about my friend Joe and his wife Stephanie, and Joe's going through the similar stuff, and it's going to be important for those people to understand kind of the same things that he's going through, right?
Yes.
So we were talking a little bit. We've had a couple of sessions where you've gone to speech therapy.
Yes.
And we were going to talk a little about your homework, but let's go over something first. So right now you're going through phonomotor treatment.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so I'm going to read a couple of things on this, and then I'm going to just read a little bit, and then we'll talk, and then I'll read a little bit more, and we'll visit what you think. And so here's where it says, how does it work? And it's because everything is connected. It said, no sound lives in its own corner of the brain. All sounds are represented in the brain by their acoustic, articulatory, motor, and orthographic connections. In other words, when your brain turns on a certain sound, all information about that sound is activated in the brain at the same time. Though in the subconscious, you think of how it sounds, how it is made with the mouth and the throat, and how it is written. So that's a thought that doesn't occur. It's, it's kind of like blinking. It says in clients with aphasia, this process is no longer instantaneous or automatic as it was prior to the stroke. PMT, which is the phonomotor therapy or treatment, makes this knowledge explicit and more automatic through multimodality tasks that engage all aspects of phonological network. So basically, it's reteaching you to think of what happens without thinking for me.
Yes.
And that's why.
Yes.
So when you say, I can't remember a word, it's some of that, but you can't remember the process that should automatically take place for those words, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? I mean, it seems pretty on spot on.
My stroke, my aphasia, it's dead on. It's dead on. Because the parts of the brain, there's different types of brain.
Yeah.
And I think I'm that example, or that they are, like I said, I'm on the spot. It's like it's like so, and like I said, aphasia is my aphasia is different from this aphasia. It's layering.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like myself, I'm trying to navigate for the just a minute, the alphabet. My alphabet says Q R S A B O C is mixed up.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to navigate of A B C D E F G, not scrambled up.
Right.
Yes.
And that takes effort.
Yes. Yes.
Nice. So let's talk. So you have gone to your speech therapy, and you say you have homework.
Yeah.
And one of the things you showed me on your homework was writing down many times words like it and this.
Yeah.
And can you explain a little bit about why you're going through the process of what and what happens? You write it down, and what else do you do, and what does this involve? Kind of explain to everybody what your homework involved, I guess.
Well, first thing is like the consonants. I have to do the consonants, but there's different types of to speak it.
Okay.
So it's like an example, T. This is a T, and then this is the D. It's I'm myself. It's the T stuff. It's I can't talk about this, but it's like T. It's like T.
Yeah.
It's T, or it's D. It's the same.
Really, same movement.
Same movement.
let me read something from, because I had read this earlier and now you're saying this. I'm going to read two things that I think will kind of say what you're trying to put out there. It says, treatment tasks begin with consonants and vowels in isolation, like you do them on their own.
Yeah.
But the real goal of this treatment is to train the sequence in multi-syllabic utterances, not a single sound. So it goes from simple to more complex. For example, C and V would be the most simple, then V, C, CV, and then you're progressing to CVC, CVCC, CVCV, and it just gets more and more. Yeah. Now, let me scroll back up here real quick, and it said, because this is what I think you're trying to say, is trying to get clients to explore the production of sound. And it says, what did you do with your mouth to make that sound? And is it a quiet sound? And are we saying the word in the same way? So that's when you were trying to say, I don't know how to say this. I think what you're having to think about what you're doing with your mouth to make sounds when I am just, it's just happening.
Yeah.
So not only are you trying to remember words that are difficult coming or you don't remember them, but you're also trying to remember, if I'm trying to say the word, how do I say that using my mouth?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's incredibly mind-blowing as far as all the things going in your head to say the word this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I thought about this the other day when you had told me, does it happen, do you have to think every time that word comes along? Like, let's say that this is or them is difficult.
Yeah.
Is it difficult every time, or do you realize that sometimes you said that word without even a thought?
Just like it just blurring out.
Yeah. So sometimes it just blurts out, and other times you're stuck on it and you have to work through it.
Yeah.
That's tough to put your head around.
Or it's like it's I have to imagine this stuff. It's like, or like I want like it's a word. It's like or I want to text something.
Right.
It's like, okay. It's like, what is like I can text it, but just to just you and I together, we're like, okay, this is it's complicated, but it's like I gotta to think about this.
Yeah. And so let's talk a little bit about something we've mentioned in an earlier podcast, which, by the way, this is number 13.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So in a previous one, you had said that you were struggling with the remembering part. So is it frustrating to you to know that sometimes you can easily say something and yet at other times it's really difficult? And so when you're having conversations with people, I guess my point is, like you are wanting to practice talking to 4 or 5 people at a time. Yeah. And that's, difficult right now with everything going on, but we're working on making that happen. We're having lots of fun Zoom time with our buddy Jay. So shout out to Jay Briggs for helping us out with that and just being a great friend to both of us. But you're wanting to work with 5 or 6 people, and that's where you say it's difficult because some people talk so fast that it's hard to keep up because, and now it makes more sense to me hearing this, because you're not just trying to keep up with the subject matter.
Yeah.
You're trying to keep up with, well, I'd like to throw in a response here, but by the time I get through thinking about what I need to do with my mouth to make that sound, 3 other people have already talked in and maybe have said what you wanted to say, or maybe they've already moved on to another conversation.
Yeah.
So I think I understand more why you need that.
I just want to say to slow down.
Yeah.
Like a group of people, just slow down because they're so fast.
Yeah.
So fast. And I'm like, but I'm like, I want to blurt it out, but it's like, I
So
can't say it.
really, the only way this is going to benefit us, you in particular, is we can't just get 5 people and not have them educated on what we're trying to do. We need to have 5 people that understand, hey, listen, we are going to sit around and have a natural conversation, but we also need to give Roddy enough time to throw some stuff in there before we move on to 10 other things, right?
So, like I said, myself, it's like, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I'm blurting it out.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it's that one word. It's like, oh shit. You know that one word.
Yeah.
Or I cannot remember. It's like, just, it's delay.
Yeah.
It's delay. Just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute.
Yeah.
It's better, but it's still, I'm very frustrated.
Yeah.
To just, or I'm angry. I'm angry about just hold on.
Yeah. Give me a spot.
Yeah.
In the conversation.
Yeah.
And I think if more people are educated in what's going on in your head, then I think they're like, oh, now I get it, because I thought you didn't want to say anything about it, so I moved on to something new.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No.
Nice. All right, let me go back to this. Talks about so in here it says, do you use a mirror to practice? Was that part of your homework, or is that on your own?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. In my speech and my house.
Okay. And then when you, like, some of your homework was writing, I saw that you wrote a lot of stuff down, which you have really nice penmanship.
It's the
THs. Yeah. So are you, while you're writing, at the same time, are you supposed to sound it out, or are you supposed to write it and then sound it out?
No,
how does that work?
I'm sounding it out, continuing
over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So is the homework more to get you to sound it out?
Yes.
Seeing the letters,
yes,
and maybe that kicks back some memory in the where it said no sound has a space in the brain. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
That's
it's complicated, very complicated.
Well, I think reading this part, and then I think we're not going to hear, but I think there's actually a treatment shown on how this all works. So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So where are you in your, here's a way that it teaches you how to multitask. Talked about parsing. Have you talked about that with your parsing, where you say the sounds in a word such as chuti? I'm not sure if I'm saying that. It's CHOOTEE, chuti. Then blending, where you say the same word but faster, it says. So anyway, it just has a lot of information on what you're probably going to be going through. Yeah. So let me ask you this: when you're with your speech therapist and you're going through this, what type of, I'm trying to, in my mind, I'm trying to say, okay, is this like a coach and he's trying or she's trying to correct as you're doing it, or do they let you go through a bunch of stuff and then go back and say, hey, let's go?
Just stop it. Don't do it. Stop it. In the right way. Okay. To do the right way.
So if you're off, they want to cut it right then.
Yeah.
And then let's do this and get it right, and then we'll move forward.
Get it right now.
Okay.
Not like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
You got to do it now.
Yeah.
Because you have to do it now, because it's very very on the spot stuff.
Yeah. And once it's there, it's probably hard to change.
Yes.
I'm going to use a coaching in my mind. This is visually where it goes. It's like when you're coaching someone and you say, hey, I know you're okay at free throws, but you're actually doing this one thing wrong. And they're like, well, I've been doing this forever. I was like, well, that's okay. It doesn't mean it. Just because you've been doing it forever, all that means is you've been practicing wrong for a really long time.
Yeah.
They don't want you to be practicing wrong.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. All right. So that kind of covered the homework thing. I want to look back at my notes that I had. What you had said last time we had done just a visit, hanging out and chilling together. You said you wanted to talk about what things might be like career-wise, or, just if you hadn't had a stroke, where would you be in your career right now? What would be happening? How many years in would you be? Because you weren't that far from retirement when your stroke occurred. So you would have been. How many years would you have been an engineer had there not been a stroke? Where would you be right now? Is that a tough number to come up with?
Well, I was gonna do 60. It's 60.
Yeah.
That's 60.
Yeah.
60 years to do that.
60 years old, and you would have been good.
Yeah, and that was good.
And this thing
30 years, and it's gone.
Yeah. And you got jammed up a few days before your 50th birthday. Is that right? 51st birthday. Yeah. 51. So in your mind, you just really, your goal was, and like we've talked about in the past, you really enjoyed the job. You enjoyed the camaraderie. You just wanted to finish strong at 60 and be done and be,
Yeah.
And that's a hard spot for you because, listen, you're a hardworking dude.
Yeah.
Outside of your job, you're a hard worker.
Yeah.
You got your yard, you got your house, your fitness stuff. You ride bikes all the time, and this kind of jabbed you out of a 10-year spot on that.
Yeah.
And that's where you get upset.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're sad about it. Sometimes you're pissed off about it. And those are all valid, right?
Yeah.
Because you got your goal taken away.
Yeah.
What do you think? Not really career related wise, but if we get you to where you want to be, what do you think the next step would be for you? What would you like the next step to be, aside from, okay, I'm not a railroad engineer anymore. What would I like to be involved with?
I'm trying to think about this.
Yeah, that's something.
Because pre-stroke, it's like I was a railroad, so I'm like I was all the time just hustling, bustling for work.
Yeah.
And then like a hat.
Drop of a hat?
Drop of a hat. It was like this stroke.
Yeah.
And it's like 180.
Yeah.
It's like 180. Now what am I gonna do?
Right.
I've not thought about that.
Yeah.
I've not thought about that. It's like, shit. What? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, in my mind, I'm like, what is this? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Well, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, it's been 3 years, it's been maybe 4 years now.
Yeah.
And I'm finally I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
Because I've been, it's really hard to try to figure this out. It's like I said, in a flash.
Yeah.
It's like, what now? And like I said, this stroke and this part of the brain, my logic and numbers and stuff like that, it's brain. It's like
changed.
It's tragedy, but it's scrambled up.
Yeah.
So I'm figuring out it's the numbers and it's the games and it's like a whole new baby.
Yeah.
Whole new gaga good.
You got to start from scratch.
Yeah, it's like 1 + 1 is 3, maybe. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So it's improving, but like I said, I'm now trying to. I think I'm grown up now.
Yeah.
I'm grown up.
What in my mind must really be frustrating is that you're aware of all of this.
Yeah.
You know, if you weren't aware that it was taking a long time or that you were struggling with this or this or this, wouldn't bother you.
Yeah.
But your thoughts are all there.
Yeah.
Like, I know this, or I know I should know this, or I know how, you know, I can figure this out. It's just not happening. And that's all where the, frustration comes in. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a good goal for us to have is we got to get, a group of 5 people and we'll do some Zooms. Things are getting a bit better. We're all hopefully going to be vaccinated, knock on wood, soon. And then we could get some conversations together with people that understand while we're having this conversation. The real goal, listen, one goal is to have some great conversations.
Yeah.
And then the other goal is to help you move through these progressions.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's the only way it's going to get better for you is to be able to get in on conversations, not just sit there and listen to them as they pass by.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to have a T-shirt that says, "Don't forget to let me talk." Hello.
That would be good. That would be good.
Or just a sign that you just pull out and just, "Don't forget, let me talk."
Yeah.
Or a TV timeout or something. I don't know. Hey, listen, we usually do one, get to know you things. So let's talk about you're doing yard work. Have you ever had a mishap with anything related to yard work or mowing?
No.
I feel like that is not a true statement, Roddy.
No.
You went way too quick to the no.
No.
So I feel like you're going to need to share something that happened possibly with yard work.
All the time. They're all the time doing something. It's like, wow. It's like, well, I'm out in the country and I just got a lot of trees.
Yeah.
A ton of trees.
Yeah.
So it's like, and they're just populating, growing and growing and growing. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what am I going to do about this? So my plan is to just chainsaw like the hell.
Take care of everything.
Yeah. And that was this maybe fall. I was doing some little chainsaw.
This fall?
Yeah.
Okay.
This fall. Chainsaw, and I was a little too close. I was a little too close in my jeans.
Oh,
it was like,
no.
And I'm like, oh, I was like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
So I'm like, doing the off.
Yeah.
And I was like, and my jeans was was ripped.
Yeah.
And it was like, and I have blood.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Just seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's not too bad. No stitches, no nothing.
Dude, you lucked out.
I lucked out.
Chainsaws are unforgiving.
I know.
Oh my God, Roddy.
Yeah, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you funny, and this one stands out. We were just talking to my younger brother just a little bit ago, a little FaceTime. I had an old 66 Volkswagen, and of course, they don't have air conditioning, so it's the middle of summer, got the windows down, and this doesn't have. I'm not doing the yard work. Someone's doing the yard work as we go by, and I'm just driving down a country road. Someone's out in their yard mowing, and we're watching, and all you see is this cloud of dust around this guy. And I made a joke to my brother that the guy, he's mowing his rocks because it didn't look like there was any grass out there. It was just dirt flying. No sooner do I say he's mowing rocks, and all of a sudden you just hear this ching. And of course, I had my window down, and all of a sudden this thing just, my brother's in the passenger seat, and Volkswagen Beetles aren't very big.
I know.
And my whole body just throws over towards him, and that was it. And I kind of, jerked the steering wheel a little bit, and then I came to a stop, pulled over, and I turned and look at him, and he says, there's blood dripping down, and a rock had come off that guy's mower and flown and hit me in the ear. And, I didn't split my ear, but it cut it. And I thought, what if that had been like a bullet? That would have been the end of it.
Yep.
So, and everybody makes fun of me. My wife calls me Mr. Safety. I'm always, just doing all this stuff. So I'll tell you, that happened so many years ago. And I still, when I drive by people that are on their mowers, it's not a comfortable feeling for me. But I didn't try to chainsaw my own leg off. So, I got that going for me.
Thank God.
I'm really glad it turned out that you were okay. All right. Well, hey, listen, everybody, we appreciate you dropping in and hope this was an entertaining and yet educational podcast. And if you know anybody that needs to laugh a little, learn a little, just have them join in. We're on just about everything now. So we're on Spotify, we're on Podbean, just got a lot of stuff going on. If you ever need to get a hold of us, you could message us or send us an email. And it's basically one stroke at a time, but it's just a letter. So it's OSAAT417@gmail.com. We're on YouTube. You can do comments. You can do anything on the other forums that you listen to your podcast on. And we'd like to hear from you. And Roddy, I love you, brother, and it was great hanging out with you.
And I love you too.
Let's have another beer and some pizza.
That's right.
So talk about. Peace out.